something with them. Bonita, make me beautiful just like you. We gotta be, yeah. Make me beautiful just like you. I wanna be Bonita, Bonita, just like you. I wanna be Bonita, just like you.
Hey, you all, welcome to the Bonita Show. And I am Bonita, and I'm so excited that you decided to join me today. I am a wife, a mother, and I want to give a shout out to my husband, Bishop Bonita Shelby, and I am the First Lady of an amazing congregation. Today we are going to talk about health and safety, so I want you to keep it locked, and we'll be right back.
Make me beautiful just like you.
Welcome back to the Bonita Show. And as I stated, we are going to be talking about safety and awareness today. And we all know that God is our ultimate protection, and the Bible tells us that if a watchman, if he just watches, that he's watching in vain if the Lord is not watching over a city. But then the Bible also tells us to watch and pray. And my mind goes back to a situation in my life where I was totally just afraid because we were in a predicament that I'll never forget. And it taught me a valuable lesson. Bishop and I went to Paris, France, and we wanted to go, well, I wanted to go to the mall, and it was late. So we were going through the underground subway in Paris at night, and as we were walking, we were in this dark tunnel, and we were the only ones in the tunnel, and I know we looked like tourists. And a man behind us started walking, and as we moved faster, he started moving faster until Bishop said, you know, we're in danger here. And so we started running, and he started running. And we saw the train, it came, the doors were open, but they were getting ready to close at any second. And we started running as fast as we could, and this man was on our heels, and we knew he was about to rob us or do something. We got on the train just in time, and here are his hands reaching for us getting on the train. And that was a situation that I know, you could say it was probably my fault because I wanted to go shopping. But it raised my awareness, and when I got back home, that was a life-changing moment and a defining moment for me that, you know, you really have to watch your surroundings, where you go. You have to keep your eyes open at all times, and I'm grateful because we know that the Lord protects us from danger seen and unseen. Well, this gives me to go right into our special guest today, who I am so happy to have here with me. Thank you all for coming. I am going to introduce, first of all, Officer Aaron Thompson. We're so happy to have you with us today, and he's going to be talking to us about health, safety and awareness. And then we have Wayne County Sheriff's Deputy David Felton. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, so we've talked about safety and awareness and being aware, and I gave my little story about how I felt endangered at the time. So I wanted to ask you the question, if either of you or both of you can share with us what are some of the trends that you're seeing out there that are happening right now and that we can prevent as citizens if we raise our awareness and we educate ourselves.
Well, I think you said the key word, and that was awareness. I think a lot of crimes happen because the opportunity is there for it to happen. Mm-hmm. And simply if, you know, citizens or civilians were to, you know, keep awareness in mind, I think it would prevent, you know, a lot of crimes or senseless happenings from happening, just simply for being aware. Because, you know, you can be the most trained individual, you can have, you know, self-defense classes, you name it. If you're not simply aware, you know, all that's really in vain. So I would say just being aware is something that could really prevent a whole lot. Like, you know, you still told your personal story just about how, you know, you were able to notice this person's body movement, you know, that he was following you, that when you sped up, he sped up, and that's awareness. And that's a big thing that I think should be implemented into our everyday lives.
That's great. Would you like to add to that?
Oh, no, he said it right. And another thing is you want to be proactive. You want to make sure, as believers, a lot of times we want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but we have to be prudent. We have to be wise in these days and times we live in. We know that the Bible says all souls are mine, and we want to treat everybody as such, and they're all God's people. Yeah. But all of God's people don't want to do good by you. So we have to make sure that we're proactive and that we just make wise choices. There's no reason for us to have our wives or even us, pumping gas at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We could have done it at another time. If I go to a gas station, I see, some individuals standing outside and women, you all have that discernment. We talk about discernment and all that type of stuff. You can use that when you're in the street too.
That's right. That's right. That's good. That's good. So can you give, you spoke of women in general, and we tend to be a lot of the victims. I don't know that it goes both ways, but things like pumping gas at night. Could you give us a tip of how women should, if they feel threatened, what should they do if they're at the gas station and they're pumping their gas? Or in my case, we were trying to get on the subway, but I had my protector with me. I had my husband, my hero with me, so I was okay. I knew that he recognized. But what if you're alone by yourself? What would you suggest that a woman does if she feels threatened or endangered?
Well, I think it starts again with being proactive. When I do safety classes for senior citizens and people, period, unfortunately, we have people, if they're going to the bank or something, they're carrying a big old bag. What'd you call them, Big Louis? Them Everholds?
Duffel bag.
Them big old. And I'm saying, you don't need all of that. Just take something small.
The never-ending bag.
Yeah, that big one.
That big one.
And I'm saying you don't need that because it makes you a target.
Oh.
And one might say, well, I should be able to carry whatever it is I want to carry. Okay, if you want to do that, that's fine. But I'm telling you, if you want to survive where it is that you're going, you want anybody to look at you as a target, you got to be wise. You got to be prudent. I don't need to have this bag to go into the bank to take care of some business. Even before I get to where I'm going, make sure you put the bag in the trunk, not at the bank, because they'll just break in your car and go in the trunk and take it. But just be smart, kind of plan out your day, and then just go.
Are there, which sparks my mind to ask this, are there any mannerisms that criminals look for in a woman, or do they pick up on that you're timid, afraid by your body mannerisms? So is there anything that you could do, like women look tough? Tell me, what can we do?
Yeah, criminals are definitely almost more aware than police officers are. Because I say that, they're the ones looking for the opportunity to commit a crime. So, they usually are more aware than most civilians are. So I would think just to prioritize being aware. You stated about, pumping gas and doing things like this. I think if you can just put yourself in the best position not to be taken advantage of, that would greatly decrease the risk, of you being a victim of something like that. So, maybe prioritize going to the gas station earlier in the day. Or, if you're at the gas station late at night and like you said, you feel like maybe somebody's sizing you up or, I think it's just to try to carry yourself confidently, be aware of your surroundings. As I keep stating, awareness, just be aware of your surroundings. You don't want to be on the phone talking if you're at the gas pump,
that's a good one.
And because people look at it and
they do.
And they prey on people that aren't aware.
Right. And I think another thing too is being confident.
Yeah.
If you're walking past someone and your husband's not with you, or if you're by yourself, if you're walking or you're jogging and you're walking past, don't look at the ground. Look at that person straight in the face. Letting them know that I see you, or whatever the case is, because you don't know what their intentions are. But I'm out here, I'm walking, I'm jogging, I'm shopping, or whatever it is. And, just like you said, be confident in what it is that you're doing.
Yeah. And if I'm driving my car and I notice somebody's following me, what should I do?
4 right turns.
4 right turns?
That's right.
Expound on that.
So you make a right turn, you make another right turn, you make another right turn. If you make 4 right turns and they follow you, go straight to the police station.
That's good. That's good, because you know what? When I'm driving in my neighborhood, I think somebody found me, I'd be going all up in the cul-de-sac, coming around. I won't stop at my
And then
mailbox.
hey, listen, call the bishop.
Yep, call the bishop.
Call the bishop, let him know what's
Bishop,
happening.
somebody following me. Well, I have enjoyed. Can you give us any feedback on any social media crimes, how we should safeguard ourselves there? Because sometimes that plays into a crime being committed and somebody getting in trouble. So can you talk
Yeah.
about that
As
a little bit before we leave?
As a Wayne County Sheriff's deputy, Sheriff Washington has us go out to talk to seniors about scams that happen on the internet, scams that what people might call. They might set you up. They'll call you and say, well, I've gotten calls for me to meet somebody at an ATM. I'm like, for what?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In order for them to get a warrant paid or something like that, they got to pay this bail. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna meet you down there. But once I start talking like that, they know, well, he's not with it. But
Right.
people are so conniving,
Wow.
so low down, and the devil is shrewd. It could be our children, it
Right.
could be
It
our
could be.
women, it could be our seniors. So again, you just want to, if it doesn't feel right, especially as women, because y'all know, especially when you save, you really know.
You know, I
So
deserve it.
follow that first instinct
Follow
that
your
you
heart.
feel, and usually your first instinct is the right instinct.
Great. And what about our children? Anything else you want to add?
Yeah,
Aaron?
I would give
Officer Thompson?
a more relatable to my age group tip. One trend that I see a lot of is we like to post our locations. We post our locations.
True.
We put Instagram videos
Right.
on. We're at the mall, with 10 bags in our hand.
Wow.
And there's literally, people that sit in mall parking lots waiting for you to come outside with all your merchandise that you just advertised to the whole wide world web, and they're
Wow.
waiting to make you a victim. So
That's
I would
real.
say just, try to refrain from that as much as you can. If you're away from home on a vacation, maybe not try to post too much, because that leaves your home
Right.
empty
Right.
to be used in a crime. So
Like
I would
posting you on
say
vacation.
exactly. I would say just try to refrain, from posting your location, and just you don't need to post your every move. 'Cause there
Ooh,
are
that's
people that are
good.
out there watching.
Lying
That's
and wait.
good. You all have been a tremendous blessing. And in this short time together, I know we could talk so much more. There's so much more that's running through my mind right now to even ask you. But I appreciate you for stopping by and talking and giving these tidbits. And there's going to have to be some more platforms that we talk about safety, because we need to hear it. And I want to appreciate you for who you are in the kingdom, number one, because we got some kingdom officers and people that are protecting, and I thank God for that. So thank you for coming through.
Thank you so
And we're
much.
going to go right to commercial, so hang with us. We'll be right back. More to come. Coming up on Bonita.
Julia, how you so sure it won't work? Listen, where every time I was faced with a trial in my life, I had to use the word of God.
Hello and welcome back to the Bonita Show. As you know, we have had some engaging conversation about safety and awareness. And I want to kick this off by sharing, some of my experience in my 31 years of ministry. I've had the privilege of working with young women of all walks of life, and I've launched several mentoring programs. One of them was the Total Makeover Mentoring Program, where I took disadvantaged or young girls that were troubled, and I took them on a journey with me for 1 year and saw some phenomenal results. And then I kicked off a second phase to that, and I took women with children, whether they were married, divorced, and they walked with me for 1 year, and I saw phenomenal results. As a result of that, my heart has really been geared towards helping women to get back on their feet, to understand their worth. And I launched a mentoring program called Modeling and Mentoring. And it's where I take the median of modeling to build self-esteem and then kick it off at the end to culminate everything with the runway, which I view as the runway of life, because everything we do has to have purpose and meaning. And when these girls walk that runway at the end of their year journey with me, I tell them that this is your life. You're ready. You're going to succeed in anything that God has put upon your heart and your life to succeed. So I've seen this, and I've had such a heart. And there was one initiative that has been on my mind and in my heart and in my prayers, and that is human trafficking. And today I want to welcome my very special guest, Hazelette Robinson, who is an advocate. She is an evangelist. She's an advocate and helps to educate women and work with women in the area of human trafficking. And Hazelette, I noticed some startling statistics regarding human trafficking. And in those statistics, and certainly these may need to be adjusted because of year and time, but I was just amazed that 24.9 million people are victims of forced labor, and 4.8 million people are trafficked. That is startling news to me. So what I want to do is I want to open up, and I want you to kind of share with us, why we need to raise awareness with human trafficking, because a lot of times it feels like things are far removed from us, but there are several people each day that are being drawn into human trafficking and forced labor. It's almost modern day slavery. So just talk to me about that, and why do we need to educate ourselves in this area? And why are you so passionate about it?
Well, Lady Shelby, thank you so much for having me on. Yes, that's exactly right. It is what is called now modern day slavery.
Wow.
See, and we think that the biggest recruiting tool is violence, but it isn't. It's deception and manipulation. And so now there are different types of trafficking. We always talk about the sex trafficking, but the labor trafficking and forced marriage are actually the highest forms of sex trafficking. They have more victims of that. And it's not so easy to be able to discern sometimes, because if someone is in a forced marriage and you see a wedding ring on their finger, there's no way that you're going to know that they're in trafficking.
Right.
It's usually the ones in sex trafficking that we see. They come through law enforcement, and then they are mandated to treatment, and then they come into the treatment center, and then we have to work with them to help put their lives together. There are some really horrible cases that come through, cases where trafficking started at home with their parents.
Wow.
Their mom and their stepdad, trafficked them, so, and it's just like really sad cases where people were never loved or nurtured or protected, and all of these heinous acts were allowed to happen to them under the supervision of who should have been their protectors.
Wow.
Their parents, So those are some of the hardest cases, because you literally have to help a person put their entire life back together.
Wow.
From the beginning. And so therefore, when we work with these survivors, they receive individual therapy, group therapy.
That's good.
We nurture them from the beginning of the program. And a lot of people have a co-occurring disorder, meaning not only are they addicted to drugs, but they have a mental illness as well. So we have to make sure they get mental health treatment and counseling, and basically teach them how to live and how to accept who they are and learn to love themselves in spite of what they've been through.
That's good.
So,
let's take a moment and just educate some young girl that might be watching us right now, or a young woman or an older woman. What are some of the methods that are used? I know social media, internet, but talk to us about and help to raise the awareness of our audience as to how you can get caught up, and you can use one example of how an individual can get caught up in this and how it starts.
yes.
What are some ways it could start?
Yes. Well, it always starts with a predator, a trafficker. And it can come through social media, or it could be a person that you meet, that you trust. For instance, I'll give an example of someone who met a man who was supposed to be the love of their life. They left with them and went to another state, and they thought they were going to live happily ever after. This person was going to take care of them. They had no identification. had not even graduated high school, so didn't have the means to secure, employment that could sustain them. And so the first job they were introduced to was a strip club, because they didn't really have any other skills, which then eventually led to them being supplied with drugs, which they then became addicted to. And then after that, they were introduced to the streets. But it started out with this happy ever after fantasy that they had because they didn't have a secure home life. And they wanted that family, that home life. And basically, the bottom line is people want to be loved.
That's right.
And if they're lacking in that area and they don't have the nurturing and the protection and those supports around them to help them identify who they are and support them to have a healthy growth, they have low self-esteem. Right. They're looking for love. And they're easily tricked and manipulated into something that turns out to be their worst nightmare.
Wow. Well, my heart just goes out. I wish we had more time to talk about some other issues, but we'll pick up a part 2 because this is something that we really need to talk about. And I want to take a moment now and pray, and you're going to pray. We're going to pray together. I want to pray for someone that is out there. You may be caught up in human trafficking right now, and you may be at a place in your life that you need God to intervene. So I want to take a moment and I want to pray for you. And I want you to lift your hands wherever you are, and we're going to pray. Father, we thank you for every listener here today. And I ask, oh God, that you would go to where they are and cover them now. Father, if they're caught in a situation that they need help and they don't quite know how to get help, God, I ask that you would surround them now and give them a way out. We command now by the power of the Holy Ghost that you would have a way out, and there is a way for your escape. And the Lord will give you how and just what to do and how to do it. And I pray now that there will be peace and that it'll be easy. I speak peace to your mind, your spirit, and your soul. And may the joy of the Lord be your strength this day. And may you find hope in knowing that God cares. And we care too. Thank you so much for joining me today. I love you and God bless you. Continue the good work, and we look forward to talking with you more in the future.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I want to let you know that no weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. It might come, but it's not going to work. Listen. I see what you're trying to do, trying to attack my body. I see what you're trying to do, trying to attack my mind. See what you're trying to do, yeah. Trying to break up my family. Oh, see what you're trying to do. Trying to make me walk away, but it won't work. No. Hey, say it won't work. I'm telling you, it's not gonna work. Whatever he had planned for you, because we got God on our side. This is why it won't work. Hey, God has given the authority to come against all your tricks, and I came here to tell you. Oh no, it won't work. Yeah, I want you to say it for yourself. Say it won't work. Hey. No. Listen, I see what you're trying to do. Hey, trying to divide the body. I see what you're trying to do. Yeah. Trying to start so much confusion. See what you're trying to do. Trying to make me walk away. But God has given the authority to come against all your tricks. I came here to tell you. Yeah. Hey, but God has given the authority to come against all your How you so sure it won't work? Listen, where every time I was faced with a trial in my life, I had to use the word of God. Hey, no, it won't work. Cause I see what you're trying to do now. And I see who you're trying to use, but it won't work. Hey, no. Now I'm not ignorant of his attack. So this time I'm fighting back. And I shall recover it all. I'm speaking that to you too. He won't win. Hey, God showed me the enemy's plan. So I came to expose its hand and say no, weapon formed against you. Hey, listen, God has given the authority to come against all your tricks. I came here to tell you, yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, that's a wrap for today. We had an excellent time talking about human trafficking. I want you to stay connected. Pray for those that may need our help. I want you to remain prayerful. And remember that all things are made beautiful in God's time. See you later. See you next time on Bonita. See ya.
Make me beautiful just like you. I'm Bonita, just like you.
Hey everybody, are you enjoying the Bonita Show? Well, I'd like for you to consider sponsorship and becoming a partner with us to take this worldwide. Please connect on BonitaAndreaShelby.com and all of my social media platforms. And every contribution that you give will help us to keep this on the air and to take it worldwide.
Now I'm not ignorant of his attack. So this time I'm fighting back. And I shall recover it all. I'm speaking that to you too. He won't win. Hey, God showed me the enemy's plan. So I came to expose its hand and say no, weapon formed against you. Hey, listen, God has given the authority to come against all your tricks. I came here to tell you, yeah. Thank you so much.